I'm Paula down in New York.
Oh yeah. Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
Oh, just puttering around, trying to keep your nose above water.
Well, I was just checking in with you to find out what's the latest with you.
Pardon?
I was checking in to see what is the latest with you.
Oh, I had to deal with some things around home here, get everything ready for the winter, but I haven't been much active lately. But I want to, as soon as I get a little bit breathing space, I want to go, after the things again.
Are they leaving you alone, or are they still messing with you?
Oh, they're still gassing us every day here.
Really?
Chest pain, left-hand side of the chest, sharp pain, and in the lungs, and then sharp pain that radiates down into the rest of, down the left inside of the left arm all the way down to the wrist.
I didn't understand you.
There are certain places around the farm where when I'm in the open,
yeah,
I suddenly, my lungs start burning, and then I get, severe pain in the left-hand side of the chest, and that pain radiates all the way down on the inside of the left arm, all the way down into the wrist and into the hand.
Yeah.
That's one way to trigger out a heart attack. Yes.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Well, and as I say, with the whole law enforcement, this one who cannot grasp it, there's no place for retards in uniform.
Yeah.
Where can they do the most idiots? Where can they do the most damage? When they send them to university or when they stick them in a uniform.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're so stupid. I think they know what's going on.
Oh, no, I mean, I say that as an apology for them.
Oh.
When you take the next step, is that they are criminally involved, and when they know about it and they don't do anything, they don't fulfill their professional duty, so they become just as guilty as a criminal who commits a crime. And some of them are part of that criminal cabal.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been hearing from so many different people, there's a family out in California that we did show on called the Deutsches, and
what?
their kid did some graffiti, and they wound up arresting the kid, and then they came back and they without a warrant they raided the Deutsch's house, and he's a doctor that makes eyeglasses. Mm-hmm. And they fabricated a laboratory, and they said that he was making drugs, and now they're dragging them through court. These are real nice people that they're just making up all kinds of lies, and the courts are not listening to any of their arguments. And then we did a show with another lady who's a nurse, and a guy in a wheelchair, they brought him into the hospital. A friend brought him into the hospital because he did an overdose on morphine, and she wanted to bring him into the hospital and get him hooked up to all kinds of resuscitation stuff. And then the head nurse told her, no, he just wants a sandwich, and she did his vital signs, and she said, no, he's really bad, he needs help. And the head nurse said no, and told him that he had to leave, and opened the door for him, and he went out in front of the hospital, and he died in front of the hospital because they didn't give him any help at the hospital. And then she went and reported it all, And now they've been trying to destroy her life and her career. And that's some of the shows that we've done lately. And now, because we're saying a lot of stuff that they don't want, they took Paula's show off television. They won't let her on anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I still have my show, but now we're doing radio.
Yeah. Well, as I say, radio is maybe just as effective. Maybe even more effective, because when you got the radio show, people are not so much distracted by pictures. They have to think more when they listen to a radio show.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what we're doing now.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't come to answer. You sent me an email, or Paula sent me an email there a few days ago.
Yeah, we hadn't heard from you in a while. We were wondering. We were hoping that you're still okay.
Oh, yeah, and a friend of mine, she joined me there from British Columbia. She had been basically put through hell there. TI.
No, I don't know TI. What's TI?
Targeted individual.
Oh yeah. We're all on that list.
They're being gang stalked. Any kind of idiots, all kinds of idiots. They get to join that. It's so much fun, tormenting people. And when they can kill people and get away with it, it puts another feather in their cap.
Yeah. They evicted us from Paula's apartment down in the city without a warrant. Everything they did in court was illegal. We know, we're targeted.
Come in.
And there are so many people, they hope it will go away, but it won't go away. Once you are on the list, they won't let up no matter what we do. So the only alternative we got is to fight back.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what we tell people on our television show. Everybody got to wake up and start fighting this, because these crazy fuckers want to have World War III, and there's no reason for World War III. All World War III is going to do is kill millions and millions of people.
Well, you went through a war, when you were in Vietnam.
Yeah.
What did it serve? Whom did it help?
No,
did it help the Vietnamese people?
No, and it didn't help the American people either. It was all bullshit.
Yeah. It helped the shareholders in those companies that were making the money with it.
Yep. The arms producers and the banks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, where are you living now?
Well, I had a place up in Woodstock, but we lost our place down in New York, and we were being effective down in New York. So now we don't have a place in New York anymore.
Yeah, my friend, she passed away there 4.5 years ago. She had a public access television show together with her friend in New York, Long Island. She was living in Long Island, Northport, Long Island.
Yeah.
Suffolk County.
Yeah.
And one of the things what they were doing, they were supporting Dr. Rebecca Carley in her program. And they were picking up a lot of cases on the program about where people were being victimized by clip of lawyers and judges and police and everything, and
Yeah, we have a friend that happened to. She had land. She owned a piece of land that they all wanted. So then they went and they dragged her through the courts, and they took her land, and they put her in jail, and She's fighting them. One thing good about her, at least, she's fighting every step of the way. She's not just taking it.
And one favorite way of doing it, declaring the people incompetent, puts them in mental institution, drugs them up, and appoint a guardian on their estate. And the guardians, they are most of the time a clique of lawyers. John Thomas Rieger was one of them, where Marianne and some of her friends were dealing with. And one of her friends was Mary Kennedy. She had about 4 acres. And they were after it the same way as they went after Marianne. That's the reason why she left down there.
Yeah. But the problem is you leave one place and it's just as bad wherever you go. It's the same thing everywhere.
As I say, the local rat pack, they are working together with rat packs all over, not just in the United States, not just only in Canada, but they are international.
Yes.
If you go into another country, most of the countries, they got the same clique there, and they are communicating, and they just pass you on to another clique.
Yeah. Paula wants to talk to you. Hold on a minute.
Werner, it's Paula.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. I'm sorry for my voice. I have a little bit of a cold, but I wanted to...
You know, this cold that seems to be going around, and especially among the targeted individuals.
Oh, my God.
Colds and pneumonia.
Wow, I never even thought about that.
Look that up, you know, what in farmers' ordeal. What the exposure to those gases and how they generate the gases.
Can you explain about microwaves and about lasers? Because I saw all of the destruction on your cattle, and that was using microwaves as a weapon, correct? Or lasers as a weapon?
Well, they can do it with lasers, very specific frequencies. They can do it with microwaves. We know that UV light changes oxygen into ozone. You know?
Okay.
Like a UV laser, you know?
Ultraviolet laser, okay.
Ultraviolet laser. And when that is being focused in front of you and you breathe in this modified air that contains high concentrations of ozone, when you breathe it in, the ozone forms peroxide. Right. You know, peroxide, the hydrogen peroxide. And in low concentrations, it can be healing. It can, you know, it kills bugs and everything. But in high concentrations, it can be deadly.
Right, right. No. I watched your videos and you explained it very well, and it was obvious from the damage on the noses of the cows that what you're saying is right. Now, but where the most damage was being done was with a frequency, most likely laser. You know, but it can be done with microwaves too, where they produce enough heat. And wherever that laser or maser is being focused in that area, you will get the heat-producing frequency. It oxidizes the nitrogen in the air, which is 76% is nitrogen. It changes into nitrogen oxide. And nitrogen oxide, at any concentrations, it is a lethal gas. Because when you breathe it in, any creature that breathes in nitrogen oxide, together with the moisture in the mucous membrane, you know, and it forms nitric acid. And nitric acid is a very powerful acid that even eats holes into metal. You know? Wow.
And when that into the lungs, it causes massive corrosive damage, you know, but then it causes a corrosive damage to the lungs, so the lungs, they start leaking, and when you are dealing, there are 3 different forms of nitrogen oxide are being produced: nitrogen oxide, nitrogen dioxide, and nitrogen trioxide. And nitrogen trioxide was that one very aggressive molecule of
it is accompanied by a very aggressive oxygen molecule, and when it leaks from the lungs, because as the mass goes is damaged into the blood vessels and into the bloodstream, this highly reactive oxygen molecule, it causes over-oxidization of the blood. It's the same way as blood makes contact with the air. It clots. Like the blood it cuts up, but in the blood vessels it causes blood clot.
Oh, I see. Right. So in other words, yeah, right. When the oxygen hits the blood, it clots.
Embolism, it can embolism in vital organs, in the muscle tissue, or in the brain, which starts basically it causes a stroke or a heart attack. When the blood clots clog some of the blood vessels in the heart.
Now, you said in a lot of your videos, a lot of your neighbors have already died. They've been killed by this technology.
4 of my neighbors within a mile and a half. This is the sparsely populated rural areas. 4 of my neighbors, they died in their mid-50s of lung cancer. And 2 happen to be non-smokers. And what I've been documenting, some of the same damage to the lungs and the same colors of the lungs. What I saw in the medical publications, for example, at the medical center, what was supposed to be the lung of a heavy smoker. And I said to the doctor, that's the way the lung of one of my half-grown puppies looked after they had gassed him. He lived for about a day, and then he died a miserable death, and his lungs had the same color, was identical to what I saw in the picture at the medical center that depicted the lung of a heavy smoker. And as I say, 4 of the 4 of my neighbors that died in their mid-50s of lung cancer, 2 happened to be non-smokers.
Were you able to get a hold of any autopsies?
Oh, I did see autopsies on the animals.
Not on the people, the neighbors?
No.
Nobody asked for them?
When they killed my friend 4.5 years ago, Diane Hennett, you find her still on the internet,
I see.
And she was, she was doing collages about the demonstrations in New York, and so, against where the courts and judges were involved in taking children away from the caring parents and putting them into homes, or to pedophiles,
I know that very well. I tried to get a hold of them, and I can't remember. I wasn't able to reach them on the search engines because they're breaking the links on the search engines. Like I was trying to find you on Facebook, Werner Bock, and I couldn't find you.
No, it's B-O-C-K, not B-R-O.
Oh, I see. B-O-C-K. I'm sorry. I made that mistake before. Were you...
I'm just a simple farmer, and I stumbled then up on those things, and I didn't take the BS I was getting from the so-called experts and from the government officials and from the police anymore. So I put my nose to the grindstone and did what the veterinarians were supposed to be doing in order to show, that they were lying. But they have this kind of crime and covering up those crimes by the so-called professionals, it has led to the situation that here in the Northeast, in the New England states, and here in Atlantic Canada, a region that at one time was self-sufficient in food production is now importing over 90% of the food.
Right.
And basically what I've seen here, the big farms that farm according to the government line, basically the underlying idea, you either farm the Monsanto way or the way the big chemical companies want you to farm, or we make sure that you get out of there. This line has been maintained now for the last 60, 70 years by the Department of Agriculture. There's another environmental Watergate where I've documented for over 40 years where they had dumped vegetation control chemicals a la Agent Orange on farmland of those farmers that didn't farm the the way
the big corporations wanted them to, right, with the special seeds.
And burn the field crops off, and then bullshitting the farmers. Oh, you have to plow up your hay ground every 3 or 4 years if you want to get a good hay crop. And that is all. They've been lying to them from one end to the other. I've been farming for years over in the old country and was in a very difficult circumstance. I went to agricultural college and so. And when they tried to peddle that bullshit to me, the district agents and so, I just looked at them and I thought to myself, who do you think you are?
Werner, are you able to reach out internationally, say to Germany?
Germany is the same, controlled by the same criminals of America. It's always the same group behind the scene. And then you got so many people, they're so scared as hell to speak out anymore. And I noticed that I came over in 1969 over there from Germany here to New Brunswick. And when I left Germany, before I left Germany, people were speaking openly, about so many different subjects. And in 1973, my dad, he passed away, and I had to travel over there. And I was for about 1 week over there, and it was like a dark cloud has descended upon the people. People did not want to speak out anymore openly. They looked at who was coming with me, who was listening there, and then they would leave me a message or tell me, come back sometime this afternoon or so. I want to talk to you, in private.
In 1973?
That racket was already going on over there too.
Wow.
Between 1969 and 1973, a bad bunch took over the helm. And people were afraid. They had become afraid,
It sounds worse than the Nazis during World War II.
Listen, about the Nazis... Yeah, okay.
Who's that?
That was my friend, Renate.
Oh.
She, a month ago, she left British Columbia and she came here because... Yeah, she had basically was being victimized by organized stalking, gang stalking, for years.
Oh my goodness, it's just happening everywhere.
But she jumped from the fire into the frying pan.
Why do you think they're doing this to you? Just simply they want your farmland, or they want the whole agricultural policy?
It is not just anybody who nowadays speaks out, and tries to tell the people what's going on. They have to shut them up, because more people might get the drift. But what's going on right now, they want dumb down people faster, with electromagnetic frequency, with food additives, with drugs and everything. They want to dumb them down faster, that they don't have enough time to catch the whole drift, what's going on. That giant fraud, that giant crime that is being committed on the people.
Now, Werner, what's your opinion about cell phone microwaves?
Well,
you can read it up again. Tavares. She has.
Are you familiar with Tavares?
With what?
Deborah Tavares.
Look up Deborah Tavares.
She's got an excellent website about that.
Could you send me that on the email? Because it's kind of hard to hear on the phone, and I want to share this knowledge with Joe. Could you send me an email on that, and then we'll call you later?
Okay.
Because Marie Tooker has watched your show. I reposted it. I got back on YouTube again. I'm learning about copyright. And we wanted to do...
I don't mind whoever wants to post it because I don't want to make any money. I just want that people...
No, I know that. I know that. But I want to... let's correspond a little bit by email, and then let's stay in touch. And then I'll try to get a better connection so I can share this with Joe. Because this is very interesting, and you're not just a simple farmer. You're a real hero, Werner.
No, I don't put up with BS.
I know.
I've been,
I know, but we have to figure out a solution on all of this, because we targeted individuals could be valuable assets if people understood our experiences. That's why Marie Tucker was inspired by you, and you should look at Marie's story too. I think I sent it to you in an email.
And we have to relate to the people in a simple way, you know. Cut through all the chains, and basically, you know, like as the motto, you know, the kids keep it simple, stupid. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, Renate, she's getting kind of anxious. She is making a supper, and
let me let you go, Werner. I don't want to disturb your family life here, but I'm so happy to hear your voice, and I know you're under a lot of pressure. All of us are, but sometimes it's at the last minute that, you know, we shouldn't say give up. You know, the last minute we could turn it around.
Yeah, as I say, that's just what they're mostly afraid of. That too many people catch up on the crimes they've committed all along, and the so-called professionals, they have grossly violated their professional responsibility, and they have been basically criminally involved.
Right, we understand. Okay, well, have a nice evening, and say hello to Renee, is her name?
Renata.
Renata, nice to meet you, Renata. Okay, bye.
Bye now.
Bye.